What's up, Trials fanatics? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to review the TMS Play 24. So, TMS Play 24. This is my fourth TMS bike. It also comes in a 26-inch. I am not sponsored by TMS. I bought this frame directly from TMS as just a frame only, and I put all the usual parts that I usually put on my bikes on it. But let me go over what this frame's got going on, and we'll talk about what I like and what I don't like and how good it is. So it's a 12mm through axle and 135mm spacing in the rear. It's native for 180mm disc brakes. Nice beefy brake mount there. So that should hold up to some trials abuses. It's got a 73mm bottom bracket, and it's a BSA bottom bracket, so you can use all your favorite screw-on bottom brackets. I'm using a Hope BB30 bottom bracket here to the clean cranks. And it's also got a tapered head tube with a semi-integrated headset, and it's also got the double wheel chain tensioner that's pretty common on a lot of trials bikes these days. I really like this. Keeps it nice and clean, keeps the chain tight, and it keeps the chainstay nice and short, so you don't have to adjust your hub to tighten the chain. There's a lot of custom tubes on here. This down tube has some subtle bends to it, and then the tube changes shapes where it hits the bottom bracket here and gets welded in with all those welds holding everything together. And the top tube, kind of like a little surfboard here because it's kind of flat on top, and then gets much wider where it hits the seat tube. So it's actually a lot like the top tube on my Guilty, which is fine by me. Goes into some very curvy rear stays for the rear triangle. Got your cutouts for the pedals. I'm running 170mm pedals. You could get 175s in there, no problem. All done really well. The welds look really nice. And since the frame is silver, you can see those welds pretty well. They've got some kind of covering on them, though it's not raw. But everything looks pretty good. It's also got internal hose routing like the Wheelbase had before it. This one's slightly different. It's got these little inserts that go into the frame, and instead of just being a little snap-on plastic insert, there's actually, you can't really see it from here, but there's actually a little screw that holds this in, and there's a boss on the inside. So I mean, that's kind of over thought out in my opinion, because you know, you can just 3D print the little things that pop in and hold the hose, and you know, those are fine, but it's over engineered. So they've got little screws to hold those in. And it's kind of nice. It's pretty satisfying to hold the frame and not have a hose under there. I know I said on the Wheelbase video that it didn't really bother me, but you know, I've kind of gotten used to it now, and it's actually pretty sweet to grab the frame and not have a hose underneath your hand. So that's pretty cool. That's a win. So I've been on this bike for about 2 months now, and I've been riding it hard pretty much every day, and I really like it. It's done everything that I've asked it to. It's nice and stiff. It's the right weight. I like it. TMS has done a really good job with this one. I don't have the fork that comes with it. I didn't order it with their fork, and I couldn't find out a whole lot about the fork. It's not the fork that they have on their Wheelbase, the last aluminum TMS street bike that they had. It's got pretty usual numbers, but I noticed that when I measured this one up with the, this is the extension carbon fork that I've got on here. When I have this fork on the bike, the measured bottom bracket rise is plus 30, which is kind of high, but that's fine. It's within tolerances for me, and it's probably what my Guilty is. The Guilty is supposed to be plus 25, but I have this fork on it as well, so it's probably around plus 30 as well. On the sheet, the spec sheet, it says plus 18 for this bike, so that's with their fork, with TMS's fork that comes with it. Like I said, I don't know about that fork. So with mine, the setup is a plus 30 on the bottom bracket, which I like because it's better for the static moves and stuff, in my opinion. The wheelbase is 980 millimeters. the chainstay length is like 360 to 362, somewhere in there, so it's pretty short. You know, you can just can't really get my finger in there with the Holy Rollers, so that's about as short as you can get it, which is also nice. Like I said, the bike's been fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. All right, so what about the things that I don't like about this frame? And there aren't many. One of the things that I'm not really crazy about is the head tube. I said it's semi-integrated, so that means that there's cups that you drive into the frame, and then the bearings sit inside the cups, and then you put your head tube through there. No, for a bike that's going to spend a lot of its life bouncing on the front like this, it would be nicer if this were an integrated head tube, where, you know, it's all just machined into the head tube. And that would make it stronger because it would be like more of an I-beam, whereas this is just an open tube in here. You know, there's really nothing in there. There's the holes for where the tubes get welded in, but you know, you have to put the cups in, and then the bearings, and then the headset. So over time, you know, the more you're doing this, there's like just extra stuff that can get loose. Whereas if it were integrated, there'd be one less thing that could get loose over time. And it's not such a big deal. I mean, obviously a frame is cheaper that's got the semi-integrated because it's just machined once and you don't have to do the full machining for the integrated. But that would be one thing that if I were to have my perfect bike, it would have an integrated head tube. And the only other thing that I don't really like about this frame is that these cutouts for the through axle are a little deeper than usual. So I couldn't actually put my Industry 9 Hydra hub on here. I wanted to just transfer the wheels over from my Guilty and ride it and do like maybe a little bit closer to 1-to-1. So I had to build these wheels. These are, you know, the regular Spank rims. But anyway, this cutout is a little bit too deep, and since the Hydra uses a screw-on or like a threaded piece to hold the freewheel on, or to hold the, you know, your spacers for the single speed, it's too tight. I mean, I could put a washer in there and, you know, probably get it. I could have made it work, but the way it's set up, without modifying the Hydra, it was going to rub the frame, or like not even just rub the frame, it was going to lock the wheel. So I looked up a brand new single speed hub. This is actually a Koozer 450 single speed hub, and I had to like get it off of AliExpress because it was kind of hard to get. And when I got it, it was $83, which is pretty darn good for a single speed. Now I think it's up to like 111 with the new tariffs and all that BS. But it's been pretty good. They say that it's 120 clicks. I'm not sure if that's actually true. It looks pretty good. It's actually got it's got a pretty nice build on the freewheel side, but it has a threaded locking deal, so you can, you know, make it kind of as tight as you want. It's still adjustable, but it fit pretty well, and it was the right price. I haven't really I actually have opened it up once to see how it's faring after 2 months of riding, and everything looks good. There's no metal pieces floating around in there, so that's pretty good. But it doesn't feel like a 120. It feels closer to a 72. So I do miss my i9, and I have actually ordered a TMS rear hub that I really like. I've had those before and I really like them. It's a 12 millimeter single speed, and it's advertised as a 120 as well, and I've had good luck with those. So I'm actually going to rebuild this wheel at some point with the TMS. But the Koozer's pretty good, and if you can get it for 83 or less, a very good deal, because it's 296 grams, so pretty darn good for a single speed rear. But anyway, this cutout is the only other thing that I'm not terribly crazy about. It's the same on both sides, the cutout. The brake side's fine though. Yeah, so you just have to use a little bit different single speed hub. If you want to use your Hydra, you're going to have to modify it a little bit. But otherwise, that's not too bad of a gripe. Yeah, otherwise, bike's been great. So there you have it, TMS Play 24. I think TMS has got a real winner here with this bike. I've been having a lot of fun with this bike. It rides great. It does everything that I want it to do. I like the way that it turned out with the silver and the blue accents that I've gone with. The way I have it built up, it comes in at 20.4 pounds, so pretty respectable. Yeah, if you see one for a good price or you're in the market for a new bike, I'd recommend it. So get out there and ride.